Okay, I'm here. I'm rising from the grave. I'm Edgar Paxson. Pistol Grip Paxson is one of my nicknames. Do you know who I am? Do you know anything about me? No? I'm an artist. Prolific, historical artist. Montana artist. But I wasn't always a Montana artist. I grew up in New York. East Hamburg, New York. I was the ancestor of Quakers. I had a very conservative background. My father was a carriage maker. He wanted me to join the trade. I said okay. I was not doing anything. I was just a little kid. I did my first drawings when I was 4, and I showed them to my dad, and they were drawings of landscapes, and he thought I was good. So that was when I started to paint. Howdy, I'm Edgar Paxson. So I was born in New York, and I moved out west, as many people often do. I was a drummer boy in the Civil War. I remember when Lincoln died. I was not there, but I remember I went with my dad. My dad said we have to go see Lincoln. So we went and we saw Lincoln. We went and saw his body after he died. We went down there, and it had a very big impact on me. Seeing this person, the President of our United States, being killed. I knew at this point that there was a lot of turmoil in the world. I knew that I had to go see what was going on in the rest of the United States. So I quit the carriage business. I went out west. I went to St. Louis. St. Louis was an awesome place. It was a thriving town. I met people like Charlie Russell, who is another Montana artist. You guys familiar with Charlie? I was friends with him. We paint the same. He was a little different. He had his own style, but we painted Lewis and Clark. We painted Sacagawea. We painted Wild Buffalo, Buffalo Bill. We painted Indians. We painted cowboys. We painted the Wild West. We painted outlaws. So I went from St. Louis. I heard there was gold in the Black Hills. I had to go out there and see if there was some money for me out there. I went to the Black Hills of South Dakota. I started to meet Indians. I started to meet cowboys. I saw the tension between them. I saw how the Sioux were getting mistreated. And I saw just, how everybody just seemed to be mistreated. So I had to become friends with them. I painted many portraits. I lived there for a while. I was a jack of all trades. I was a lumberjack. Cut down trees. I was a hunting party guide. I had a wife and I had a kid, and I left them behind in New York because it was just not the life for them. I was traveling all over. So there was gold on the Sioux Indian, on their holy land, and we were out there, and here comes Custer, and Custer is like, well, we gotta fight all these Indians. So he took us to Little Bighorn, and I wasn't there actually, but I felt like I was there. It was such a great place, wide open spaces. And Custer comes in, and we all heard about this for miles around. And I was in South Dakota, and Custer comes in, and there's just this massacre, and it affected my life in a holy way. Here's a picture for you. This is my most famous work. It's hanging in Cody, Wyoming. Take a gander at that. So that's when I moved out to Montana. Moved out here. I loved it here. I lived in Butte. I lived in Anaconda. No, I didn't live in Anaconda. I lived in Butte and I lived in Deer Lodge. I keep saying Anaconda. I don't know. I had a pet anaconda. No, I didn't. Okay, I'm lying again. So I lived in Butte. I was a cattle rancher. I was a scout for Indians because it was the Wild Wild West. and they were after me. And no, they weren't after me, but they were after us. They were after the white people, and we were after them, and we were fighting. So it was like everybody for themselves. Vigilante justice was going on. So that's when I started to paint. I painted the vigilante justice. I painted the Wild West. I loved Montana. I traveled some more. I went back to New York. I went to the Philippines. I lost my teeth. I got malaria. I got dysentery. I got sick. I moved back, and then I moved to Missoula, and that was my life. Any questions?
You were well traveled.
I was well traveled. A lot of people back then didn't go anywhere. They stayed home. But my dad was a carriage builder, and he built me a carriage. And I traveled in it, and I loved it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Have a good day.